y'all. New opening, new me. I am recovering from a sinus infection, so if I sound nasally, please forgive me. But I decided to come back with something that I've been ingesting while recuperating in my room and stuff. You can't throw a stone and not know about the Diddy situation. It's a really fucked up and messed up situation in itself. But it highlights the crabs in the barrel mentality I feel that our community indulges in. And why I say that is because the latest scandal, and I'm hearing it from a lot of people that I like and respect, trying to already throw Jay-Z under the bus. Now, I'm going to get this right off my shoulders. I do not like Diddy, never liked Diddy. Always thought there was something off with him, especially since the days of Shine, being a former New York girl. New York's my hometown. I never rocked with Diddy the way some people did. I always thought he was a better producer than he ever could have been a rapper, and I stand by that. Jay-Z is a little different. Well, I'm not a super fan. I do like a lot of his music. I never stand him the way I do like Beyonce and Destiny's Child, and we're gonna get to that as well in this video. I always felt like Jay-Z was very in your face with anything he does. He's never acted like he was a completely squeaky clean guy. But with these latest allegations coming out, and with even people that I like coming at him, accusing him of something that there is no direct proof of, and granted, I get the facts that it's a 24-year-old case, that it happened to somebody whose situation kind of mirrors a lot of us who've been through assaults as a minor. But you have to separate when you hear certain facts from your own personal takes on this. I'm not acting like there aren't demons in the music industry or entertainment industry or even sporting industry. I'm not acting like we don't elevate some of our favorites, which I'm going to get to in this video too. But when you go around accusing a man like Jay-Z of something very deplorable and highly criminal based on a civil case brought on by a literal glorified ambulance chaser, all I could do was sit there and think about the why. And it comes down to what I said in Deleted's video. And I'm going to use some of Deleted's video, not all of it, but the part that I feel a lot of people will gloss over on as they try to literally frame a narrative about Jay-Z that has not been proven to be true. They ain't raided his compound and finding thousands upon thousands of things of baby oil. They don't have a shit ton of evidence that led to a federal raid on any of Jay-Z's homes. But you are already trying to convict him in the court of popular opinion. And that is so dangerous in our community. And it feels like it feeds into a narrative that I said in the Deleted comment section about how our community has a real weird crab in the barrel mentality. The higher successful the black person is, the more chances that our own community will tear them the fuck down based on little to no evidence. But when we're hit with actual evidence against a black creator or a black musician or a black sports star, we'll look the other way if they're still good. And I just want to do a little comparison and contrast about that because you could see where the hate for the full Carter family, not just Jay-Z, comes from a place of envy. And when you see what Deleted was able to he even said it, he didn't do a deep dig, and there are still things he's looking for. But even with that, you could see where people jump in the gun and already trying to convict Jay-Z of literally being somebody who chases minors. This isn't like a Drake situation when you got the motherfucker on camera caressing an underage girl and talking about her chest against his. This is a man who, like he said, he's hustled. He hasn't had a fully clean life. But I can't help notice that the same people who were chasing him about the Super Bowl shit are the biggest ones trying to amplify. Along with people, like I said, I follow a lot of people on this app. And I respect a lot of people on this app. But this week, because some of y'all were ready to jump and throw this man and his family under the bus. And a lot of assumptions about the unnamed female in this civil suit as well. Y'all are bringing up the names of the literal dead. You need to leave Aaliyah's name out your motherfucking mouth. Let her rest in peace. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's break it down. The last week and a half has been nothing but the media going at Jay-Z, and his response has been, if you believe that I would do something like this needs to be a criminal case. I'm not going to pay out money for a he said, she said story from before my eldest was even born, and let you say that I would do this. And when you watch the deleted video, which I'm going to start off with the evidence and then go from there, because as much as I like doing my slideshows, and I will get back to that, I think it's very important to hear this for yourself. So let's, without further ado, bring up deleted video with some of this evidence, because I don't want this to run too long either, because I'm not sure when my voice will give out.
Ever seen so many people wanting and yearning for people to be evil. Gossip, conspiracy theories, and being guilty by association. That's all it takes for people to root for the demise of someone's legacy. I have yet to see anyone provide facts. I came across a couple of threads online and I started to do my own research. And according to some of the timestamps, everything seems a bit off.
And not even that, to interrupt that. The fact of the matter is, with this being the digital age and this day and age where you can literally dig up evidence for anything you're looking for, this is how Diddy stuff started to unravel, because there's paper trails, there's video evidence, there's monetary evidence. You got to follow that trail of money sometimes with people like him. And yet, you think if Jay-Z was really credible, you could credibly indict him, he would have been all over the place. But it's like I said, and I will get to the crabs in the barrel mentality. Let Deleted keep going.
So the MTV VMAs 2000 started at 8 p.m. Eastern. The show lasted 3 hours and 10 minutes, wrapping up exactly around 11 p.m. Assuming the after party kicks off right around the time at 11 p.m., we'll use that as our starting point. According to Jane Doe's original statement, she didn't have tickets to the event, so she stayed outside watching the show on the Jumbotron. It's unclear whether she stayed to watch the entire show, but Jane Doe later mentioned that she began searching for ways to get into an after party, approaching limousines in the process. Now, remember the part I told you guys to remember, that this lawsuit was filed twice, but
not only was it filed twice, and not to act like everybody that was that young back then, or even earlier, because like I said, I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm a bit older. I'm not acting like teenagers don't act wild, and this does not justify what potentially happened to the victim. But the fact that they were able to sneak out and go to an after party in Manhattan like that is already like skeevy and suspect, because a lot of these parties are heavily secured. But I'm going to let Deleted show the story, because a lot of people are running with this, and I think you should hear it all.
With changes. In the original claim, which did not include Jay-Z's name, Jane Doe stated that the driver instructed her to return to that spot at 9:30 p.m. However, the award show started at 8 p.m. and didn't end until 11 p.m. By 9:30 p.m., the show was still in full swing with everyone inside the venue. Now, in the updated lawsuit that included Jay-Z's name, Tony B made sure to remove the driver's original claim about meeting at 9:30 p.m. It seems this was done knowing the timeline wouldn't add up, as all the celebrities were still inside the venue attending the award show at that time. How ironic. Diddy attended an after party that night at Twirl. It was said that that after party was hosted by NSYNC, but Jay-Z was not seen at that event. In fact, both were reportedly at two different nightclubs during the time Jane Doe claimed she was at the house party she described. It's important to point out that the after party Jay-Z attended wasn't at a house. It was at a nightclub in downtown Manhattan, hosted by Eminem and Dr. Dre. The venue didn't have a driveway or a living room as Jane Doe described, and it was most likely an invite-only event. An NSYNC blog website confirms that Diddy.
And not to interrupt again, but they weren't even at the same venue. And the first not even deposition, the first filing didn't even name Jay-Z. And I think people need to understand that even though it was a traumatic experience and you can let that go, and even though there could have been potential, the fact of the matter is, when you listen and you see the second, the only thing that changed about the story was adding Jay-Z's name to this docket. And thank goodness for deleted. You will see where that gets shot out of the water as well, because there were factoids in the first deposition that didn't make sense, and they still don't make sense because of the evidence of the people that are being accused. Now, mind you, I am very biased when it comes to Sean Puffy Combs. I don't like the man, and I know he did a lot of people dirty. There are a lot of black elder men right now worried about them freak off tapes ever getting leaked. But let's get facts forward, people. Get back to this.
Diddy and Aaliyah were not at the same after party as Jay-Z. It states, party guests included Destiny's Child, Marlon Wayans, Shawn Wayans, Keenen Ivory Wayans, Mark Wahlberg, Blink-182, Britney, Busta, Jermaine Dupri, Usher, Aaliyah, all the MTV VJs, Darren Henson, Pink, Wade Robinson, Johnny Wright, Nelly, Puffy, Jennifer Lopez, and many, many more. And as you can see, there was no mention of Jay-Z being at that party with them. I seen people even having the weird theory about Aaliyah being the woman who watched, and that's why she passed away the following year. Aaliyah didn't go to the Lotus nightclub, and she was also with her brother Rashad that night, who are both very close.
And not only that, but Aaliyah already had enough of her own problems with R. Kelly, who I'm going to get to in a few minutes. She was groomed. She was more than likely brainwashed by a man way older than her. And I don't think she was down with Diddy either. I think a lot of people assume that all of these big black creators are like besties and know each other. A lot of people didn't get down with Diddy. In fact, I guarantee you the whole reason why Suge stayed calm as his ass is rotting away in prison is the fact that he knew that Diddy did so many people dirty and did so many extortion tricks that it was going to blow up on him one day. But all of you's acting like Diddy just had like this evil empire of like celebrities. Y'all need to calm down and wait till all the evidence. This is why I didn't do a full deep dive on P. Diddy yet. Because I'm ingesting all the evidence I can so that I can put out credible shit and not risk getting sued like some block people like to do.
They attended the Twirl after party together, which is confirmed by the pic references and again the NSYNC blog website. I really hate y'all motherfuckers. I ain't gonna hold. Y'all get on my nerves with these theories, man. I mean, the way you think you're helping Aaliyah is just cruel as hell to her family and friends. All this conspiracy shit because of a has-been that's mad she didn't get her shine.
And like I said, at first, Jaguar Wright did no wrong in my eyes because she's seen things. But you get on that weird clout train and you got enough people whose ears are on you because you were right about one thing. And then you go off the deep end trying to name every black celebrity that you think did you dirty personally. And that is why I say, wait for the evidence. Don't just convict off a hearsay. Like, you know, it is what it is. We are crabs in the barrel in our community for real.
Sudden wants to make conspiracy theories about everyone, and y'all eat that shit up. With her being semi-right about Diddy, that doesn't mean shit. You throwing craps all day, eventually you're gonna hit the jackpot. You're gonna hit the 7-Eleven eventually, right? It's crazy because you act like these people have so much pull to destroy other celebrities, but then why didn't they destroy Jaguar's dumbass? A Jay-Z Instagram fan page posted a pic of Jay-Z in 2022 stating he was at the Lotus nightclub as well, with a recent comment from someone claiming they were a photographer at the event. They also stated that they didn't witness Jay-Z around Diddy at all. So one commenter says, because after hour parties don't go all night long because...
And I'm going to say it because I hope at Miss Tina Knowles shows this to Beyonce and Jay-Z. This was him after the MTV 2000 Music Video Awards, clearly stating where he was, not out with Diddy. It's a witness that can prove he wasn't, our wording, a 13-year-old girl. So then somebody responds, because after hour parties don't go all night long, because he didn't go from one party to the next, because people didn't already say that Diddy's parties are still going at 7 a.m. You got to realize that Sean Diddy Combs was big in the early 2000s, but he wasn't where he was now as he's getting federally indicted on a lot of messy shit. And it's like people want to so badly bring down every successful black creator, especially those who are in the billions now, like the Carter family. And it's just insane. But let's go on.
Because he did go from one party to the next, because people didn't already say that Diddy parties are still going at 7 a.m. He didn't. I was working for a prominent paper and I did the write-up for that night. He never went to an after party, and Diddy didn't host a party that night. They were at a Manhattan club called Lotus that night. Diddy was in a private section. Jay-Z was never in his section, nor were they hanging out. Diddy later was spotted entering his New York townhome with Jennifer Lopez at 3 a.m. alone. We ran the photos. In fact, you can Google them. There's zero truth to this bullshit story, and it's easily proven, thankfully, which is why he's calling out the accuser. Also, Lotus nightclub had the off-duty police officers as bouncers, and they never let in a 13-year-old girl, nor would they. She claimed it was a party at his house, but he didn't have a mansion back in 2000. Diddy lived in an exclusive townhouse on Park Avenue in New York City that he bought in 1998. Everything about her story so far doesn't line up. She said a party at Diddy's mansion. Well, he had a townhouse. She said after party at a house, the after party was at a club, and then everyone went their separate ways. And Diddy was photographed entering his townhouse with J-Lo after leaving Lotus nightclub. Now, I went and looked everywhere for this photo and I couldn't find it. I'm not saying this person is lying, but this is 24 years ago.
Not only that, but point blank, when you listen to that and you realize that, yeah, it was a traumatic experience and the girl could have messed some things up. The fact is, as somebody who lived in New York and know there were clubs that you could use a fake ID. You didn't have to really verify your age. And if you were friends or had family connections, they looked the other way. But some no-name 13-year-old girl with no ties, no family connections, none of that shit to get into a club like the Lotus Room? Even if you suspend disbelief, and she got into the club, to get into the VIP section with no ties, no names, no family recognition, no celebrity, that shit wasn't happening. Even if I could agree that Diddy was more than likely a predator even back then, because let's not forget that when he was with J-Lo, that shit in the club that ruined Shine's life happened. The fact is, you were trying to say that you got taken to a mansion after party that didn't happen. Had this happened to you by two most prominent in hip-hop figures, and while anybody who's anybody could believe that Jay-Z did it because he's big, there's no direct evidence for that. Versus Diddy, who everybody tried to say when Cassie came out with the allegations of abuse and other really horrible things, that, oh no, she's just trying to get a check. And then that 2016 video came out. And like I said, we have to say alleged and everything else because we don't know what other evidence there is. But it seems really fucking funny. Some of you want to railroad Jay-Z off of hearsay versus some people who literally had mountains of evidence against them, but you like them. And that is the problem with the crabs in the barrel in our community. Because it's just little things that you don't like about celebrity that can just mountain like a snowball, turn it into a boulder to try to destroy them. And that shit's got to stop.
It could be labeled and tagged something completely different. So if you guys could find that photo, please let me know. Send it to me on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You got to remember, this is so long ago that photo might be tagged.
Now, delete that. I'm out there. 24 years ago ain't that long ago. I guess it is to you because y'all are young, but 24 years ago is like almost half my life. So I'm just saying.
under something completely different. So this comment is the only comment besides Jane Doe's statement who places Jay-Z and Diddy in the same building. The references I've shown places them at two very different locations with zero pictures showing them together. And as far as these two pictures going around the internet, you can't be certain it's in the same exact place. One pic could have been taken at Twirl and the other could have been taken at Lotus. Exactly. So where was Beyonce on the night of the VMAs? She was with Destiny's Child at Moomba, attending a high-profile party hosted by Tommy Mottola. Moomba, a well-known restaurant, was the spot for exclusive invite events. Her mother, Tina, was also present with her in the group, keeping an eye on them. Even though they were in their early 20s, she was doing exactly what a responsible parent would do.
Exactly. But to add to that, because a lot of people want to take down both Jay-Z and Beyonce, I've seen a lot of wannabe T channels out there, like literally saying that they have like this evil empire with Diddy and we're going to hear all kinds of sordid stuff. And it's like, what do you have against these successful people? It's beyond ridiculous. But it really does show the amount of envy some people have. And it bleeds into a lot of stuff that went down this year with the Super Bowl pick for Kendrick as well. You see a lot of nasty people who claim to be about our community playing these games. And like they said, Beyonce and Destiny's Child were at a Tony Mottola, who was then Mariah Carey's husband's big after party for the VMAs at a whole big ass restaurant in New York. While Jay-Z did originally go to the Lotus Room, that was not the only club he hit that night. And Aaliyah was with her brother. There was no talk of any of these people being with Sean Diddy Combs. Yet some of you wanted to jump to that gun. And it just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm going to let the leader finish a little bit more before I get to my slideshow and wrap this up because I don't want this video to go too long. Like I said, I don't want to lose my voice.
Websites that have pictures show the proof that all suspects were all at different locations after the VMAs. I'm gonna leave y'all the direct links to these images in the description for you to see for yourselves, because these references, these pictures places Jay-Z, Diddy, Beyonce, and Aaliyah at 3 different locations at the same time, debunking the social media conspiracies surrounding Beyonce and Aaliyah. And it also goes against Jane Doe's statement of Jay-Z and Diddy leaving together before the limo came back to pick her up. There was no house. These were nightclubs. Jay-Z and Diddy could have later been at the same location eventually. However, there's no picture evidence, and with the commenter stating that they were never seen around each other is exactly what all the pictures implies. They would have definitely snapped a picture of Jay-Z and Diddy talking. Whoever was taking all these pictures would have definitely snapped that picture. The claim states that the victim accepted a drink from a waiter, which is a critical detail because the lawyer alleges that Jay-Z laced her drink, but the file claim specifically says she took the drink from a waiter who was walking around serving them. This detail remains consistent in both the original and updated versions of the claim regarding the drinks. A few days after all this drama transpired, Jay-Z was seen out with his family for the premiere of Mufasa. His daughter Blue Ivy and wife Beyonce are both in the movie, with Blue Ivy.
And then even to interrupt, because I'm going to get to the slideshow now, because that picture is up there. The fact that Forbes, supposedly a well-reputable news source, went with this headline after denying teen sexual assault allegations linked to Diddy, everybody knows what this is about. Everybody knows what's going down with this. But there are so many people who would rather hate a public figure with little to no evidence than to at least wait until the facts speak for themselves. And what I find crazy is that this isn't new. Like I said, in our community, men like Jay-Z, once they hit a certain threshold, they become targets of people's envy, of people's ire. And it's not just him, his wife, his child. And people want, oh, what are you talking about? Everybody loves Blue Ivy. Child, do you remember these pictures? I remember having on my social media back in the day, cuss people the fuck out about talking about how the baby girl needs to get her hair did, and she didn't get her mama's good hair, like Beyonce don't be getting her shit so pressed. Y'all be acting like all black hair is the same too. Heck, I even silk press my own shit. But to act like there hasn't been hate for the Carters has been ridiculous. There's another one with Beyonce holding Blue Ivy as a toddler. And now you have to have her father sit her and their other kids down and explain to their babies that no, daddy is not a predator. These people are literally trying to get money. And they're saying I'm doing something heinous with a minor. It's sick, but it's not surprising. This motherfucker right here, I've said it. I do not like this man. There's no way to put it better than that. He's gross. The shit he's done to our community and beyond. The people who are really credibly linked with him are probably shaking their boots because he has blackmailed plenty of famous people to stay silent. But you notice Jay-Z isn't staying silent. He has gone after this dude that's trying to do this lawsuit. I'll get back to them. This Tony Bugsby guy, who is well known for chasing dollars that he thinks will be easy. And while I do not want to downplay what this 13-year-old potentially went through as somebody who survived assault myself at a young age, I do think it's suspect that you would do something like this in a civil lawsuit when you know that Jay-Z said, I will come to a deposition. He does not have anything to hide. And if you really believe that I was capable of doing something like that, there should be a criminal investigation. I don't blame him for saying that because it's not just an assault that he's being accused of. You're literally accusing him of being a PDF file at this point. Which, while there's a lot of credible leans towards that with Puffy, you don't have that. And I started thinking about the whys, and I'm going to tap back to this picture. Now, you might think, what the fuck does Kendrick and Lil Wayne have to do with this? Well, it all goes down to the 2025 Super Bowl and who Jay-Z helped suggest and who the NFL backed, which was Kendrick Lamar. A lot of people went after Jay-Z on social media and beyond saying that he helped rob Lil Wayne because the Super Bowl is being hosted in Lil Wayne's hometown of Louisiana, well, his state. And the fact of the matter is, Lil Wayne was never a contender for it. Whether you like to hear it or not, even though Lil Wayne was big, is still considered a rap legend, there was no way he was a chart enough topper right now to even be a nominee. And people didn't like that literal fact about that. And the fact that Kendrick, who had an amazing year, and I'm going to do a 2024 rundown of music and stuff as well, got the nod, is going to be the first hip-hop artist to ever lead his own halftime show. And Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj and some other people whined about it, said Jay-Z did him dirty. And a lot of people who didn't like Jay-Z jumped on this. And they are the same people right now playing those games. And it's funny how you can go after men like Jay-Z, but you ignore motherfuckers like this. Because, oh, he was the father of comedy and stuff. But he had 60 fucking accusers saying that he not only laced drinks, but did very dirty, dark things with women. And the only reason why he's not sitting in jail right now is because they overturned his conviction based on technicalities. So his victims may never see fucking justice. In our community still, there are still some people out there that say those women just wanted a check. Get the fuck out of here. Then you got this one, who I loved his music. I don't think there's a black family that didn't bump something of R. Kelly's. We looked the other way with the Aaliyah stuff, which we shouldn't, because even as a child, I was saying, that shit's weird. He is way too old to be with Aaliyah's ass. But you're told to mind your business. Look the other way. It's the same thing with a lot of dark things in our community. It's almost like a rite of passage for some of us to go through things like SA and DV for some of these people. It's sick. But when he finally got convicted, a lot more people opened their eyes to shit that was looked away for years. And there was evidence, literal tapes, of this mother effer peeing on people. But he was beloved, so we looked the other way. This guy, I got into a fight with an auntie over him. When that trial went down and he was found not guilty, a lot of us in our community breathed a sigh of relief for some reason. I didn't, because there was credible evidence of domestic violence. There was credible evidence of him stalking, and whether the gloves didn't fit, why the fuck does this motherfucker jump into a Bronco and run, thus fucking with our All-Star game that year? But my auntie called me and said, oh, praise God, he was found innocent. I was like, praise God? You act like he's related to us. This motherfucker got away with murder. She was not happy with my ass when I said that, but I stand by what I say. And it's not like he didn't get in trouble afterwards. And yeah, he's dead now, whatever. I don't like speaking too ill of the dead, but people want to pretend like certain things can be looked away from because we like the figure. But when you vilify somebody like you're doing Jay-Z, and it ties into Beyonce and Destiny's Child too, which reminded me of the Supremes. And I know you're going to be like, well, why are you tying it into Supremes? Because historically, our people have done this to people they don't like. And it's not all the Supremes, because a lot of people still revere Diana's ass. And they were icons of fashion. But Dreamgirls came up because of Florence Ballard. And let me tap back, because I thought I had Florence's solo picture, but I didn't add it to the pile. And I apologize for that. But Florence over here, and in this picture in the yellow, they considered her obese. Now, as a thick sister myself, who is way thicker and is doing a thing, but it's not about me, I know what it was like. When you're up against somebody like Deanna and Mary, and she had already troubled life as it was, but they threw her under the bus because she wasn't spunked enough for people. She's a bit too thick. They even made, like I showed this playbill, the play Dreamgirls was based on everything that I'm getting them mixed up. Homegirl was put through. And what troubles me is that we still do that shit. We find something we don't like about a black celeb, and we hyper fixate and we hyper focus, whether it's they're too big, or they're too rich, or they're too this. And because of that, the Carters themselves are the constant source of ire and just hatred. Even this picture of them at that Mufasa opening had a lot of people criticizing Blue Ivy's gown. Oh, it's too big for her. And granted, there are celebrities like Kim Kardashian who let their kid at an inappropriate age be out there like that. But when you compare them to the Carters, who have kept most of their kids, including Blue Ivy's career, tight-knit, under wraps, and in very respectable tones, you can just tell that there's a hate for the family that makes no sense. So it's like I'm imploring people, especially people that I like, content creators that I've seen this week, just automatically jump on the let's hate Jay-Z bandwagon because, oh, if Sean did it, everybody that could have known him did it. Wait for the evidence to get out there. Don't be passing judgment on people you don't know. Don't get your ass caught up in a lawsuit like Jaguar might end up in, like some of these other bloggers that wanted to run and automatically condemn Jay-Z for stuff. Don't let your mouth out-talk your pockets. But I can feel my voice getting a bit more loogie, y'all. I will be back soon. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing live streams again, but they will be coming, especially on Twitch, as soon as I feel up to it. Once again, our new novel, Tara, Destiny's Children, is out. I greenlit the physical paperback copies. It's a limited edition cover by me until Roger's cover. We also have Axiom still. You can get this in paperback, and Apple is almost done processing the audiobook. Both of these books are labors of love for me, y'all. And I do appreciate all the sales that have been coming in. I appreciate all of you who read and support our work. And I do appreciate those who are dealing with this new format change, because I have decided that 2025 is going to be, if I make content that I can enjoy, content that I'm personally invested in, and music and television and other writing stuff is what I love. It is my wheelhouse. The next video will more than likely have an unboxing by a very nice person who sent us some amazing things again. But other than that, I am going to wrap this up, and I will see you all soon.